Think about this for a moment. We live in a culture that elevates and even celebrates performance in men almost above all other qualities. Whether in the game room, boardroom, or perhaps most tellingly, the bedroom. And that particular message goes something like this. Good performance in the bedroom means you're more of a man. The main thing to remember is that women want a guy who can go at it for hours with a blue steel hard-on. Performance problems? No worries. Just get yourself a prescription for Viagra or Cialis. And if you're not into that mainstream medicine kind of stuff, try one of those herbal concoctions that are available all over the internet. Unfortunately, far too many men have bought into these myths. The truth is that great, fulfilling sex for both you and your gal really has nothing to do with performance. In fact, focus on performance in the bedroom is the very thing that will probably kill great sex. Now, consider replacing the idea of performance with the possibility of presence. Then you're beginning to open the door to a world of physical intimacy beyond yours or your partner's wildest dreams. Even if this notion seems foreign to you, and it probably does, and you've been immersed in a world overloaded with pharmaceutical company marketing and porn that revolves around men who appear to be able to stay hard for hours, just stay with me for a bit. Men typically think of sexual performance in terms of A, their equipment, how big and how hard, B, stamina, how long we can keep hammering away, and C, how much we can drive the woman we're making love to crazy with, well, A and B. Women, especially under the age of 40, well, they tend to agree with this view, but not necessarily because they prefer to be ravished this way, but more because they think that this is what most satisfies their man. When women get to talking honestly about what they most enjoy in the bedroom, it rarely matches the acrobatic antics found in the average porn episode. And if you don't believe me, talk to some women about this yourself. Ask them what they most like in the bedroom. And I'm reasonably sure you'll hear some variation of the theme of greater presence. Women want men to be there with them, playing and connecting intimately in the moment, not perseverating on some athletic ideal of performance. The quality of presence is something you find in great leaders, listeners, and otherwise ordinary human beings who are totally comfortable being in the present moment. It's a state of being rather than doing. Where performance is goal-oriented doing, presence is a space of goalless connection that may or may not involve any doing. When you're with someone who is fully present, you feel accepted for who you are. You feel the warmth of deep connection, even if you've just met. In the bedroom, performance requires a strong heart and, well, a hard dick. Presence requires an open heart and the willingness to create space for your mate to experience her total emotional and sexual self without fear of judgment or expectation. Performance demands. Presence allows. The easiest way to achieve presence in the bedroom is to allow yourself to be truly vulnerable, which results in opening your heart. Vulnerability is something often relegated to the opposite pole from the masculine. It's not often seen as sexy in popular culture, and it's rarely taught to or encouraged in most men under most circumstances. But if great physical intimacy is your goal and presence is your vehicle, vulnerability is the key to the ignition. Just relax, put performance aside, take a few calming breaths, and just be with your partner. Release all your expectations of yourself and your woman. Let your next encounter be all about her, and be ready for some surprises. Invite her to candidly let you know what works for her. Let her know that your sole focus is to give to her in the way she wants, and that she need not worry about climaxing. As strange as that sounds, her role is to fully receive and enjoy the loving you give her. When you sincerely create an intimate space like this, you free her up to fully express her sexuality in a way that she has probably never experienced before. And this tidal wave of emotional and physical connection, intimacy, and experience will carry you both away. I had to learn this distinction the hard way, and no pun intended. After prostate cancer surgery and radiation treatments, I was left clinically impotent, which means I can't get it up to save my life, even using all those highly touted male enhancement remedies. This meant I could forget about any notion of experiencing the typical sexual performance mandated by our culture. My acceptance of this condition and surrender to it allowed my partner and I to explore other ways of being intimate. And without question, one of the most important discoveries for us was the idea of being fully present for each other while making love. This alone transformed our experience from great, when things were working as they should, to absolutely extraordinary. So extraordinary that our intimate experiences continue to boggle our minds and those of everyone we share them with. Forget about the pills, male enhancement, locker room bragging, and all the fears associated with performance. Being fully present for your lover will take some practice and patience, especially given that our culture does everything in its power to distract us into oblivion, which is the very antithesis of presence. If you hang in there, and again, no pun intended, you will both be rewarded beyond your imaginings.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Extraordinary Intimacy with Michael J. Russer. For all speaking, media interviews, and workshop inquiries, go to michaelrusserlive.com. For private intimacy coaching, send an email to coaching@michaelrusserlive.com.